Hello, I'm Jay, and in this video I'm going to show you how I increased my pentatonic scale speed picking from this to this in minutes. Now, I don't profess to be the fastest picker in the world. There's lots of players that can pick faster than me, can pick a pentatonic scale faster than I can. But it's a decent level of speed, it's good enough for most music, it's competent playing, and most importantly, I'm happy with it. However, if you, like I was, are stuck in this zone, you're no doubt not happy with it, and you want to feel more proficient, more fluent. Well, here's how I did it. And I made the jump by a slight change of technique and a little bit of cheating. So if you've been playing and practicing a while, your left hand is probably more than capable of playing your pentatonic scales faster. It's your right hand that is holding you back. Now, I started playing using a pick, but before I got to be that good, I went on to classical guitar. After about 15 years of playing nothing but classical guitar, I went back to electrics and a pick. Now, in classical playing, you use two types of stroke in the right hand. You use free strokes, where you don't come to rest on a string, and you use rest strokes where you do come to rest on a string, otherwise known as tirando and apoyando. So I was looking at my newly resurrected plectrum technique, and it occurred to me that plectrum strokes were the equivalent of free strokes. So what would a rest stroke look like? Well, there are two ways of doing a plectrum rest stroke: coming to rest on the next string down with a downward stroke, or coming to rest on the next string up with an upward stroke. Now, I know now that I wasn't inventing the wheel, and quite a few players do use rest stroke, but I'd never really heard of these referred to as rest strokes and free strokes amongst plectrum players, but that's exactly what they are. So this was the first step. This was the changing technique that I applied to my pentatonic scale picking. So we had this. To change that to rest strokes, we now have you'll notice on the way up, your hand will be angled to do a downward rest stroke. And on the way back, you have to switch the angle of your hand to do an upward rest stroke, or else it doesn't work. Now, already this felt better. Smoother, easier, more secure, and yes, it was already faster. Rest strokes are faster because you're picking in straight lines. Straight lines are the key to fast picking. The problem with the way most people pick and start picking and reach a brick wall with is that they're playing in more circular motions, and you need to do an even more circular motion type thing to cross strings, and that's why you end up getting the sort of bounciness, and it soon gets out of control. By using rest strokes, you can always play in straight lines. Now, the final step. I improved on this even more by cheating, and here's how. I noticed that it felt far more comfortable, and I could go faster coming back down the scale than going up the scale. What was different? Well, there was only one thing I was doing differently. I was doing upward rest strokes. But I had to do downward rest strokes on the way down. You always start with a downstroke. Everyone knows that, right? That's what I'd been taught. That's what I've always done. That's what I've seen other players do. Downstroke for downbeats, upstroke for upbeats. Da, 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 da. But what if I started on an upstroke? Could I? Dare I? So I tried it. And what do you know? It felt amazing. I now felt the same comfort and ease going up the scale as I felt on the way down the scale. Starting on an upstroke when ascending the scale has the advantage of your pick moving towards the next string at the point of changing strings. You're on the next string. And you're ready for the next string. Next string. When you start with the downstroke, your pick is moving away from the string, the next string that it needs to play. Down, up, and now your pick's up here when you've got to get down there. That's no good. Starting with an upstroke also has the advantage of dampening the previous string so you don't get the overtones ringing. It's all right on the bottom E string. Now I go to the A string and I do an upstroke, and it stops any buzz or resonance I might be getting from the E string. As soon as you play the first note on the next string, you're doing an upstroke and you're stopping the string you've just played, thus not having to worry about doing any subtle damping with the rest of the right hand. What's more, I now didn't have to switch hand positions when changing direction. This did leave one small issue though. When coming back to the B string on the way back down, I found I'd just done an upstroke on the E string and now needed to do another upstroke on the B string to maintain the alternation. Well, yes, it does upset the alternation, but that's not an issue. So at this point, you just do 2 upstrokes, but you do it in one dragging motion. Here. So you've gone, you do another upstroke there. This motion is in fact very easy, and it's precisely that combined with rest strokes that make faster scale playing possible for mere mortals such as myself anyway. So that's how I did it. I massively increased my speed, comfort and fluency when playing pentatonic scales by changing to rest strokes and starting the scale with an upstroke and maintaining the hand position with a drag when I ran into trouble at the top of the scale. I went from this to this literally in minutes. I hope this works for you. When you're trying it, notice your hand is moving in straight lines, as I spoke of earlier. You should immediately notice how much easier everything feels. If it doesn't immediately come together, you should at very least notice the potential, and it will come. Just take it slow for a little while and get used to it. I sincerely hope you found this helpful. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like me. It's free and it makes me feel loved.